Hi, my name is Shayla. Today I'm going to be talking about Sean's arguments in response to my initial speech about why banning assault weapons would be a better choice. But I am going to argue against him and say that I still think that they should be banned. Sean argued that the initial 1994 ban was just for show and that this didn't really have any effect. But there is proof that the ban did help lessen the amount of shootings. FactCheck.com claims that there were people in the NRA and political figures who made statements prematurely about whether the gun reform of 1994 was working, because a lot of them had said that this was just a way to put up a front, to put up a show, in that there was no evidence that this was working. But all of these statements were made prematurely. Someone named Coper states that it modestly reduced the shootings, and if this ban was in place longer, there would be more of an effect of less shootings that would have taken place. CNN also reported that while Obama was in office, there was plans to try and rework the initial ban that took place. This would include the ban of sale, transfer, and importation of the possession of assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. The ban also could have some of the deadliest shootings that we've ever seen. It can prevent them immensely. The New York Times did an analysis on the ban for the Parkland shooting, asking if the ban was in place, would it have even prevented it? And studies show that most likely, yes, the ban would have made it impossible to get this kind of weapon that took place for the Parkland shooting. There would also have been a decrease in assault weapons recovered in crime scenes, with less rifles being used in crime events and other assault weapons that would be in this ban. Evan also argued that there's too high of a risk being an innocent bystander with a gun, and that you should take that chance anyways, even though it might confuse some first responders of who the shooter initially is. I argue against that because there are some people that have the mentality of shoot first, ask later. Some of these people are our police officers. And Evan argued that this mentality isn't always there, but there are officers that have this mentality. So they use this and claim of fearing for their life. Once they realize someone was trying to de-escalate the situation to cause less fatalities, it's just too late altogether, and they now have a fatality of an innocent bystander that was just trying to de-escalate the situation. When responding to an active shooter threat, many sources say to run anyways. You can see this in your trainings at work or just in a basic Google search, that many sources tell you to run and to not use your own weapon in a shooting to confuse first responders of who the gunman is. The last argument I want to point out is that there wouldn't be more assault rifles on the black market because they wouldn't exist anymore. Evan argued that there would be more of a spike in the black market with assault weapons and all these guns and the magazines, the heavy machinery that have been used in crimes. But without the guns, there's no ammo to fill them. And looking through Biden's campaign website that he had through the 2020 presidential campaign that he was having, he states that having a buyback program that was promoted in his campaign would reduce the number of assault weapons in the circulation, causing almost few or none to be on the black market. By having this buyback program, It would eliminate the sale of firearms and ammunition as well, making it much harder to sell on the black market. So this could potentially eliminate the modern day sales of these assault weapons, but also through the black market as well, and eliminating the black market for assault weapons as well. And to kind of wrap it up, there's people that say that having a sporting rifle or a hunting rifle is not the same thing, but it still gives you that freedom of the right to bear arms. It still allows someone to hunt. It doesn't infringe on that right. You can still hunt with a rifle rather than just using a bow, making this much easier to be able to still own a firearm if you really want to. And you can still protect yourself in the wild while hunting. And you can protect yourself at home. A controller ban will not infringe on your right to own a gun, to be able to hunt and go to the range and practice on either a dummy deer or a target or whatever the case may be. It doesn't infringe on this right to own this type of gun. Even though there are valid arguments to both sides of this debate of whether assault weapons should be banned or not, it would be safer for the community as a whole to ban the use of semi-automatic weapons altogether. There would just be less mass shootings, less casualties, and there wouldn't be as much of a risk for innocent bystanders in a shooting trying to de-escalate the situation and having first responders being confused about who they're looking for. And also, there just wouldn't be any issues with the black market because these weapons wouldn't exist anymore through a buyback program. So, in conclusion, I do think that it would be better for semi-automatic weapons to be banned from being sold and being owned, and I think a buyback program would really, really help with that. Thanks for listening.